did you decide to focus on immigration for such a large part of your youth?
I wrote this story about Enrique's journey, and it has increasingly become the story of who migrates to the United States since I wrote it. It's become something that's been on the front pages in 2014 and most recently now. So I think just people pay more attention to that than some of the other pieces I've done, because immigration has been such a huge issue, and especially children migrating has been a central part of that. I think just educators have also embraced the book as a way in very conservative parts of the country to have a conversation about who's coming and why are they coming. These are your new neighbors. You should know them before you hate them.
When writing that, what was your main goal that you hoped people took away from that? From it?
I think to put yourself in the shoes of these migrants and understand what are these women facing in these countries in Central America, where they can only send their kids to school till the 3rd grade and they can only feed them once a day. And would you maybe make the same choice they made to leave their children and come to the United States? So I think what good journalists do is help people put people in the shoes of someone else so that they can empathize, they can understand the choices that those people have made, and that's what I was hoping to do. Migrants have traditionally gone to 6 states, including California, but in the last 20, 30 years, they went to every county in the United States. And we know that the reason that many counties went for Trump was this backlash against these newcomers in their communities. And it wasn't even economic, it was cultural. It was, I don't like these new people in my community who don't sound like me, don't look like me, worship this weird Virgin of Guadalupe, what the heck is that? So it was this rejection of the newcomer. And I thought it was important to tell people who these folks are that are coming, these women, these children.
Here in Kern County, there's a lot of families and children that live in fear of being separated. What would you say to them to give them hope?
You know, I think it's a tough time. Arrests are up about 40% under President Trump, and you know, President Obama was called the deporter-in-chief. He deported up to 400,000 people in 1 year, so that was no picnic either. But I think increasingly what we are seeing are raids. Especially, it seems like there are more raids in places where Attorney General Sessions and President Trump view as not with him, right? So we have the Trust Act, we have sanctuary laws, the state of California has sued this administration like 36 times, you know, more than any other state. So we're in kind of open rebellion, and I think they're sending ICE more to those communities. I think what I would tell them is, and I have some of these resources on my website, know your rights. Know that if somebody shows up to your house without a warrant, you don't have to let them in. Have a guardianship plan for your child as a parent. If you are arrested, your child hopefully won't end up in the foster care system because you have designated someone to take your child instead of the system. So I think it's really important for people to kind of know their rights. And I would say, you know, we need a vote.
Yeah.
49% of Latinos voted in California in the last presidential election. When the stakes were this high, a majority of Latinos in this state and a majority of Latinos in the U.S. did not exercise their right to vote. That's unconscionable in my mind, and we have to somehow convince people that their vote matters, that if they vote for someone, it will change their life in some small or bigger way.